Welcome to eVison Live. My name is Dr. Alexandre Kleeberg. I'm a psychoanalyst, a psychotherapist, and I'm fascinated about self-healing. Normally, I'm doing this eVison Live with my partner Dietrich Busaka, but today we had some problems scheduling everything together, so I'm alone this time, and I hope I can bring my message over even if I'm not interviewed. So today I want to talk to you about the topic of homing thoughts, homing feelings, feeling at home in yourself, in your life, in your body. The last sessions we discussed fear and freedom, and the homing thoughts, the homing feelings sort of connects both topics. I believe it's very, very, very important to feel at home in your body, in your life, in your community, in all aspects of your being. If you have a lucky development, then you have a family that has raised you with love and protection and encouraging you to do steps into freedom. So that's a very, very good basis to become an independent, free, and at the same time safe, sheltered individual who feels at home in the body. I want to introduce to you to two aspects of independency, and those are called autonomy and autarchy. They both derive from Latin and they sort of mean being independent. You might know the word autarchy from economics, maybe from ecology, that you might create a community that is autark, that doesn't need water from other places, or energy, or light, or whatever, or food. It's autark and it can sort of manage everything by itself. The word autonomy means a little bit a different independency, which is more related to freedom and with personal development. So that's a broad sense. There is no typical border between these two, but I want to explain both themes from a psychological perspective. If you have been raised in a loving family and the pregnancy with you was loving and safe at the same time, and maybe you're 1 or 2 years old and you go to the oven and it's hot and you scream and yell and you run to your mother and say, oh, 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 and cry, and the mother is comforting you, then it helps you to feel protected and you feel safe. And if you go maybe to kindergarten and there are some kids that are beating you up and you have parents that shelter you, that protect you, it's not that awful, this experience, because you feel the strength of your parents or of your community. And when you grow up and you might have unhappy love affairs, there might be your family or your cousins or your community or your friends around and they comfort you. So this experience doesn't shake you to the ground. So you can go on further. So this is an autonomous development where you feel safe and protected and free at the same time. You might have a little fear for the next steps, for what is to come, but you know you can manage this. And if you fail or you make mistakes, you know you have your parents, your friends, your family, your community around. Maybe you even have God or some spiritual figure or being around, so you feel protected and safe and free and curious at the same time. So this is optimal. But not all of us had this safe pregnancy with us, the safe family or community. and those might become independent and free, but without this protection. So they have this development out of a deep, deep need. They have a lot of energy, which help them to grow, but they don't have this protection. So they really need to do it for themselves. Maybe even at the age of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years old, they are left on their own. They have to grow up. They have to become independent. They have to become strong, but without this. So I like to compare this to a building. The autonomous personality is a beautiful building, and it has a very strong, deeply rooted base. And the autarch personality has a beautiful building, maybe, but there is no base. So if there is a big storm, it's just shaking, or maybe it gets even destroyed. So if you have an autarch development, you might make a career, you might build beautiful houses, you might have a strong personality in some sort of sense, but the base is sort of shaky. So if there are challenges from the outside, they might crumble the base, or the wood, or the bricks, or whatever this house is built of. So you become more strong and resilient if you have a good base. So this is, from a psychodynamic point of view, that's the difference between an autarchy and an autonomy. Until about, 20, 30 years ago, psychology said, oh, if you don't have this base, I can understand you, I can do a little, but actually you have to live with this parents, or with this pregnancy with yours, or whatever. You just have to live with it. But now, through neuroscience and a lot of other research, we know it's never too late to have a base. But maybe you have to break this building down into parts. If you have an autarch development, you might have nice bricks, you might have great windows, you might have very good quality floors and doors and so forth. But if there is no stable base, it all might be torn apart. So how do you get a base? You get a base by the power of your imagination, because now we know with every inner image we create the biochemistry of our body, our expression, our vibration, so to say, our contacts. We have influence on everything there is. So you need images that heal, that give you this base, that give you a good pregnancy with yours, or good, warm, loving, caring parents. So you have somebody where you can always come back to. That's why I made almost 1 hour meditation to sort of reprogram the pregnancy with you and the first early years. So there will be a base inside at the depth of your being. You can do that. You can also imagine that there are angels beside you, or power animals, or you have a shelter of golden light, or a shelter of love. Or like Mother Mary, there's a Mary with a very wide blue coat, and you can imagine that. Or you can imagine a sound or a mantra, or, as John Diamond said, a homing thought. I feel at home in my body, in my life, in my essence. I'm deeply grounded and rooted. And we know that those people, they have much more resilience when there are problems, when there are bacteria that are coming, and challenges of life. So that's another thing you can do. Or you can imagine into the future and ask yourself, how do I want to be? Who do I want to be in the future? And you imagine yourself deeply rooted in life, rooted in your body, and rooted in the vision you want to become. And you can practice that over and over and over again. So this becomes a new home inside. So you have a variety of possibilities. It's never too late to feel at home in your body, in your life, in your contacts, and in your future. So just create it. And I have a lot of clients that are in my groups that have this autarchy. They are very powerful men and women. They have a career, they have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of wisdom, and they come to me. I know everything and I know what I should do, but in some way it doesn't work. Or I know how I should feel, but it doesn't sink down into my body, into my being. So if you have an autarch development, you might have a blockade between your competence and your base. So it's really sort of important to go back and to transform this blockage so that you can go to your base with your competence, with your wisdom, and create it anew. Create it backwards in the future, in the past, create it forward in the future, or create it right now into the here and now. So just start and open your heart and start.